Well, we're out in the garage today. It's windier than all get out, and I have the legendary Fisher 400. Very, very nice example of one. It's clean. Lot of original tubes. I'd say most of the tubes are original. It's pretty much original. I'd say it has been serviced probably sometime in its life. It's got the 78, what are those? 7868 tubes. It's kind of hard to see. Those are Fisher tubes. I'm not sure who makes them. Maybe GE or somebody. American made. This is an American made in New York back in the day. Absolutely fabulous. I've got it running with the Project Tube Box DS, which is a fantastic, absolutely fantastic preamp, phono stage. And of course we've got the legendary Technics, one of the best turntables ever made, sitting on this old ratty bench out here in the garage, but that's how we like to roll in my neighborhood. The photo stage on this is a little bit noisy, so that's why I use an external phono stage. And these things are you can't even find these anymore. These Tube Box DSs. They got a Tube Box DS2. But I'll tell you what, this thing, I've had it for years now, and I did have the tubes replaced in it. I bought it used and the tubes were jacked up, so broken. Somehow he tried to change them and broke the tubes, so I replaced the tubes. This thing works flawlessly. Tons of options. I've got it set right now at the lowest setting. I think it's running like 40 dB. It's really low. But this thing here, it's my personal preference, okay? My personal opinion about this thing is it'll do what you want it to do. One of the reasons I bought this over other Fisher tube receivers is I was reading the reviews, like we all like to read the reviews, and they said that the 400 has the sweeter sound, okay? So that's what kind of drew me into getting a 400. And I'm going to tell you, it really is very sweet sounding. It's really fast, it's accurate, it has that wonderful tube sound, and but I'll tell you, compared to my Kenwood, personal preference, compared to my Kenwood, the Kenwood has a little heavier sound with the sweetness. This is just more, I've got these little Minimus speakers, the Minimus 7s, everybody, and they've got the walnut. They're very nice. I did have these recapped, and it did change the way they sound. It seems like they're a little bit, maybe a little more accurate, a little less bass. I'm not sure if I love all that, but I did have them recapped. There's some Beatles there. I don't know how much of that we'll be able to get away with. But here's the thing. It's like when you listen to the old Beatles, right? Which I think it's a pretty old copy I've got. 65. I'd say this is probably an original copy from back in the day, man. I mean, it's an old copy. But if the way I like to listen to music is if you're going to listen to the old music, I like to listen to things that are pretty close to the era correct sound. You know what I mean? It's like there's tons of sounds out there. There's tons of options. But back in the 60s, this is what the Beatles were actually being played on. nice sounding. I could do better with, I got some really cheap copper wires. They're not even that big of a gauge. I could probably get more bass out of the speakers, out of those speakers, if I had heavier gauge wires as well. So yeah, I was playing around with this today. I pulled it out. It is clean, quiet, smooth, accurate. I mean, this is, you know, I would say most people, even audiophiles, would just absolutely love this. I mean, it is just a fantastic setup. I mean, it just does it all. Just does it all. Now I've got the phono stage running through the aux here. I've got the bass and treble set flat, and I do have the loudness on because the size of the speakers and the volume I'm listening to them on. So, but you know, I don't know. The Kenwood, to me, it's just, I just find it better and, you know, more pleasing to listen to. It's just got a heavier sound. It's got bigger tubes, probably a little more power. So, fantastic receiver though. But you might like this better than the Kenwood. You'd say I'd want more sweetness in my music. I'm not going to use those speakers. I'm going to use something bigger, something that's going to have a little bit more bass. It's going to have more weight on the speakers than more weight on the amplifier / stereo receiver. And you can do it all kinds of different options. You can do some tube rolling in your phono stage. You could change your cartridge. I've got the Shure M44-7 cartridge, which is, I have a lot of fun with that cartridge. It's not the best cartridge in the world, but guess what? It's a fun cartridge to spin. So yeah, Saturday morning, I'm out here in the garage, playing around with the Fisher, and I'm enjoying it. Playing me some Beatles. I'm gonna play some Chick Corea next, and figured I'd get out here and show you somebody. You know, back in the day, they used to always inscribe their social security numbers and their names. Probably maybe a military guy had this at one point in his life. But all in all, it's nice. I had to have the jumpers. It didn't have jumpers when I got it, so I had to replace the jumpers with some aftermarket jumpers. Those work fine. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, just kind of sharing to you what's going on in the garage today with this beautiful New York made Fisher 400. You guys have a good day.